me. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kalis. Today, as you can tell from the video, it's gonna be like a long distance collab with my friend Azhar Ramlie. So the story is, last week I posted a video on the tips to speaking in English. So basically, what my friend was trying to portray in his video was that it's more important to be able to speak fluently instead of, trying so hard to speak perfect grammar. So I agree with him entirely, because just like him, I improved my English the hard way as well. I practice speaking but the difference between me and him is that I'm very particular about grammar. In school, you learn everything theoretically, so that's what I was, focusing into, but I never practiced it in speaking. So as I grew up, and then in a Marism, I, had some sort of revelation that how important English is, and then I started to improve speaking as well. If any time in this video I do grammar error myself, please correct me, or probably I'll correct myself before you do, because by the time you see this video, I'll probably already filming another. I hope. We agreed to make a video, a response video, whereby I will correct his grammar in his video. So, but I do agree with the tips that he gave, which is first to think in English, and then I won't specifically recommend tweeting or caption, but in any form of writing, you can write anything, anywhere in English. So first you think in English, and then you write it. Worst case scenario is just like write a diary or your note in your phone in English, and then just speak. I mean, I myself hadn't been able to speak in English until I speak. So basically, the first mistake he did was when he was telling a story on how he started speaking in English.
But I was privileged enough to actually study English in the local English-speaking countries such as United States.
So he said I was privileged to study English in the local English-speaking country like United States, whereby he should have said the I was privileged already show that it's past tense and it's a story that has happened before, so other verbs that comes after that should be in root word. So what he should have said is I was privileged to study English in with native speakers, or in an English speaking country. The term he used was a bit complex. Sometimes in English, or when not applying the best structure or the best grammar for English, sometimes it makes your sentences more complex, whereby it actually is much simpler if you say it correctly. So the best way to say what he said is I was privileged to study English with native speakers. And then the next one, watch this clip first.
I don't think I'm good at it. I'm just speak. Like, I speak. I don't speak grammatically. See?
The mistake was when he said I just speak. I think that is just a slip of a tongue. I mean, everyone knows it should be I just speak, I speak, not I'm. Whenever you use I'm, it should be a verb that you're currently doing. Like, it should be I'm speaking, I'm eating, what you're doing right now. But he slipped and said I just speak. Biasalah tu, asalkan cakap. And then the third one, okay, I'm gonna lose count soon, but ignore me. The third one is when he said for daily basis.
So speak English as for daily basis. In fact, I actually really learned how to speak English in the United States.
That is also a grammar error more than a vocab, whereby he should have said on daily basis. Okay, iklan jap. I'm sorry, because whenever I teach English, I myself forget the name of each rule or each condition, you know, because I always, you know, teach people in a sense that would make them understand. What I will give like analogies, I will like give examples and situations to make them understand. So I myself always forget the name of a particular rule. So I hope you guys still understand lah. On daily basis is the right one, not as for a daily basis. See, so what I'm trying to say is that actually speaking the correct English is much simpler if you really know like the right words. That's why like one tip to improve your English speaking or improve your grammar as well is to always is to memorize the right phrases to say certain things. You know, you start with just memorizing like I do exercises on daily basis. You see, before you start understanding what it's I do, why it's on regular basis, why it's exercises instead of exercise, you must first you can just first memorize that sentence and try to apply it whenever you can. There's a lot of books out there, like some called I saw one, it's called 100 or 1,000 phrases, English phrases for beginners. So just memorize that and try to apply it whenever you speak with your friends or with your family, and then after a while you will recognize the similarity of each of certain rules in different sentences. Then it's going to make sense. For example, like I hate vegetables. I love to eat, but I hate vegetables. It's very simple, but the more you practice it on daily basis, the better. But after in the same video though, Azhar said something quite similar, but this time it's correct. Watch this.
Think in English. Every single thing you do every day on your daily basis.
See, he said, terlupa dia tutup kantor, tengok balik. Sebab tak ingat. Like he said on your daily basis. So that's the correct one. Now, let's move on to the next one.
Well, the second way to actually improve your English by start tweeting or writing a caption in English.
So the next error was the wrong usage of a form of word. It's very common to get mistaken on using the words with ing or past tense or present or continuous present, past participle. That's the common mistakes I've seen among everyone. So he said you can start by tweeting. No, that's the that should be the right one. By start tweeting. So a simpler way to say what he said is you can start speaking in English by tweeting. So the ing should be at tweeting instead of at the start. It should be instead of say starting. If you want to say starting, you can practice English starting with writing captions. So the ing goes to start instead of to caption or tweet. So the actual rule here is after the word by should have ing, but what he said is by start tweeting. If you twist it a bit, it can be correct, which is start by tweeting, not by start tweeting. The second way to improve your English is by tweeting or writing caption. So you throw away the word start altogether. See, the correct grammar or correct English always have structures with less words than the wrong ones. So saves your time, saves your energy. So improve your grammar.
Your English inside your head first, and all of a sudden, without you even realize it, you will speak English out of nowhere.
So in this one, there's a few mistakes whereby it was a redundancy of saying all of a sudden and out of nowhere, and also the redundancy of the use of word you, and also a grammar error on the word realize. Because okay, so first you should choose, he should have chosen, he should have chosen, that's the right grammar, people. He should have chosen between all of a sudden or out of nowhere, because they too have the same meaning, so it should not be used twice in the same sentence. So If you want to choose the first one, it should be like this. All of a sudden, without you realize it, so I'll correct the first one first here, not yet the result, so I just repeat whatever he said. All of a sudden, without you even realize it, you will speak in English. Or without you even realize it, you will speak in English out of nowhere. So pick between those two. As for the second mistake, which is the redundancy of the word you, there shouldn't be the same word repeated in the same sentence conveying one message. So the message, the whole idea of this sentence is to say that all of a sudden you speak in English. So that's the idea, that's the core of the sentence. So he using you in before the comma and after comma is wrong. He should have changed it into all of a sudden, without realizing it, you will speak in English. Oh no, out of nowhere, dah tak ada kan tadi kan? Okay, so we choose the first one. So it should be all of a sudden without you realizing. No, that is also wrong. Kalis, focus. All of a sudden without even realizing it, you will speak in English. But actually, I mean, you know, having him use this whole structure of sentence makes it more complex and complicated. It should be simplified into something like, without realizing it, you'll be speaking in English out of nowhere. So that's more simple and also grammatically correct. So for the word realize in this context is used as sort of a more of like an adjective than a verb, meaning to say he is not focusing on perbuatan of realize tu. He is focusing on you sedar ke tak sedar. So it's like more like kata sifat macam tu. So you cannot use realize because realize is the root word and thus holds out the rule of a verb. So you have to change it into realizing it, unless you remove it, and then you can use it like this. All of a sudden, without you realize, you'll be speaking in English. Or all of a sudden, without you realize, you'll speak in English. Or no, you cannot say you even, it's so redundant. Just take that the first two examples I gave lah, senang. That's the easiest and the simplest way of saying it. So same goes to the word say. If someone tells you, you should speak, or you should be speaking in English. If you translate it to Malay, it has a different meaning, really. Like, you should speak. So it's just a matter of speaking as a perbuatan, but you should be speaking in English. The point in that sentence becomes the fact that when you speak, it should be in English. So that's when you have to have ing, whereby when it's merely a verb that you're using, then you use the root word. So the best way to say what he said would be, then all of a sudden, without realizing it, you will be speaking in English. Or then all of a sudden, without realizing it, you'll speak in English. Senang. Less words, no redundancy, clearer message. You have to know, you have to know exactly the point of that sentence. Is it the time that it happened? Is it what happened? Is it how it happened? So all those different contexts will have different structures of sentences. Let me know if you want to learn more on that. I'll prepare a better macam syllabus in a video. Kalau aku rajin lah. But yeah. Okay, so enough with pinpointing his mistakes. I'm going to show you one example of a very good use of grammar in a very good structure of sentence towards the end of his video. Let's watch.
Even in this household, me with my housemates, we speak English as a joke, but then after a while, it wasn't a joke anymore. We actually speak English because we want to speak.
So he said, after a while, it wasn't a joke anymore. Sorry, I can't imitate his American accent. American accent is very hard for me. So basically, he was telling a story, so the whole process of that storytelling should be in past tense and also past participle, because he's talking about the time when he first started speaking in English with his housemates, and then how it started as a joke first, and then I mean gradually it becomes like a more natural thing for them to do. So I'm amazed. I mean he being able to say things like that is not a surprise for me because he studied in the US. But it's very good to note that after a while it wasn't a joke anymore is grammatically good and correct. Why it wasn't a joke anymore? Because here the point is still speaking not being a joke, but it is also entitled with the time frame because that sort of situation developed in the past. But actually in the same context it can also be present tense. For example, we started off jokingly, but then it is no longer a joke. We actually speak in English. That's when you can use it is instead of it wasn't. But he is trying to convey the fact that the whole situation happened in the past, so it wasn't a joke anymore. Although it wasn't a joke anymore is after it was a joke, but the whole shit is in the past. So past tense and past tense, because it is not a word that has meaning. It's more like a functional word. So yeah, good Azhar Ramlie. Penat agak sebenarnya. If I continue rambling about English, this video will never end. Okay, that's all. Please go watch his video on his channel and subscribe to his channel as well, and follow his IG and whatever, and support his business. He just got what? I mean, he is no longer working with his previous employer because of this challenging situation we're amidst in. So go support his business. He sells lots of stuff. I hope he doesn't end up selling himself. Alah, bodohnya. Itu je lah. I hope you guys like this video, and let me know if you want more of English related videos. Comment down below what you want to see, and then don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I can't promise you, but I promise you I will be more consistent with my videos. Ciao.
So if you actually think that you learned something from this video, Alhamdulillah!